All right. Like you said, it'd be nice. Yeah, it'd be nice to go in the post. Like by my count, Shepard really only got 2 post ups, and Pope only had 2. What he got the first touch to open up the second half, and that must have been by design, where the ball went straight to him in the post, and he faced up and drove it. But with the offense, I like that. I was talking about where they have those 2 posts at the elbows, or basically the 3-point line. I don't really like that because they run all their offense above the free throw line extended, so they have 3 guys standing like 28 feet from the basket, and then they're trying to make entry posts to Shepard, Pope, Chol, whoever it is, and I just don't think that's going to be effective for them.
Oh, I don't either.
But hopefully they adjust. I mean, just like do like pass, like set yourself up at the wing, at the corner more, so you can make those entry passes. But um, they're gonna have to do that to create better offense against Utah, who'll be tougher on the interior on defense.
Oh, exactly.
But moving on from that, I thought Illinois State was a really interesting opponent because they are really good at pushing the ball, and they did it off of makes too. Um, a couple times we'd score a layup, and then just boom, um, they they'd throw the ball in, and it was. I mean, they obviously surprised us a little bit with that.
Yeah, that they did. And they, as you were saying, they really did push the tempo. And I think with their tempo pushing and with some of our players playing like freshmen, like as you were saying before the podcast slash hangout started, Malik Pope and Zylan Cheatham were playing a little bit squirrely. So like they haven't played in a while. Yeah, we get it. But Illinois State was able to force 18 turnovers. So the fact that we were able to hold it together, even though we committed 18 turnovers, was pretty good. But it's just all about ball security, and even if the team is going to run them, they need to kind of slow it down a little bit, which I think would have helped instead of them being all fired up.
Yeah, and that's like a big question of balance because the preseason was all about, the big narrative was, push the ball, push the ball, push the ball up the court. Um, but if they do that, there's going to be a learning curve because they're not doing it as much as other teams have been, even though there's that perception that San Diego State runs.
Oh, exactly. Especially as you know, when they get ahead of themselves, they tend to commit a lot of turnovers.
Right,
So
and
that's the big one. Like if you go down looking at the roster, Malik Pope played 21 minutes, committed 3 turnovers. Trey Kell only played 9 minutes. He had 3 turnovers. Hensley played 28 minutes. He had 3 turnovers. Basically, it's easier to say only 2 people on the team did not turn the ball over. One being walk-on true freshman Ben Perez, and the other being Skylar Spencer.
right,
That's not a very good stat line.
yeah. There was what? Well, um, Cheatham, I thought was awesome. By the way, like when you seeing him catch the ball, whether it was a rebound or like in the half court, and just seeing him explode when he takes that first dribble. I'm excited about him. It was kind of funny though. I think it was his first transition opportunity. He's dribbling up the court, and then you just saw that being loose with it as a freshman, a guy easily poked it away, and it was like, whoa. If he like took those extra 2 dribbles, he's probably gonna dunk on the guy waiting for him. Um, but I'm really excited to see him play. He's a specimen, really.
Oh yeah, I'm really excited about seeing him play too, and I'm gonna push the topic towards fouls because I really think that Cheatham would have gotten a lot more minutes, but he didn't due to foul trouble as he only played 18 and he committed 4 fouls. There's a lot. And then Trey Kell, who is a returning starter from last season's team that made it to the Sweet 16, he only played 9 minutes and managed to foul out. So like, and then Angelo Chol, 1 foul, but he only played 8 minutes. But some of these guys, like, they really need to start fouling less. Like, you can really see who the veterans of this team are by looking at the foul stat line. Like, Skyler, committed 1 foul in 29 minutes. Winston, believe it or not, committed 2 fouls, 28 minutes. And Pope was actually one of the best, who played 21 minutes, only committed 1 foul. And Hemsley, our stud freshman, he played 28 minutes with 4 fouls. And Dakari played 28 minutes with 2 fouls. So, you can really see senior leadership. The guys that have been there, they know how to control the amount of fouls that they get in terms of their playing time. So, we will see Zylan Cheatham evolve, and hopefully he commits less fouls and gets more playing time.
Right, like you meant the 28 minutes with Hemsley, he had his foul troubles in the first half. He played all 20 in the second half. I think a little bit of it is younger players, but also it's also kind of on the officiating, because last year was supposed to be the big emphasis on, refs are gonna call the hand checks, arm bars, all that stuff on the perimeter, and it didn't really happen to the degree that people expected. So now, if this is consistent this year, then players will have to adjust, or if they just lax up to what it was like last year, then they might just be able to get away with what they did tonight. So that'll be interesting to find out.
Oh, I totally agree.
And I said tonight, yesterday I meant, in last night's game. And then when Illinois State wasn't pushing the ball up the court, surprising the defense, I thought it was a good experience to play against their 5-out in the half court, because I think that's what Boise is going to do a lot of. And it just presents interesting challenges, because another team doing 5-out might put 2 of our guards into a ball screen, whereas you're used to a guard and a big dealing with that ball screen, so you saw some of that confusion. I think this team is built well to switch, and if they do that, they'll be fine. But a couple times, even when it was a big and a guard, just because they were facing a 5-out, they got a little bit confused, gave up some open jump shots off the dribble. But this was a good opponent. It's not just like Steve Fisher felt like playing his alma mater, so he put him on the schedule.
Oh, exactly.
Because there was a little bit of reaction, like, oh, we got to do the Missouri Valley Challenge again. Let's get a better game. This was a good game. This was fine.
Oh yeah, I was happy with how they played.
In the second half, I thought it was interesting. There was an 8-minute stretch in the middle of the half where Shepard and Pope were both on the bench. And you look at Winston, he ended up playing 28 minutes. But seeing both of them on the bench for that long was interesting. The team played pretty well, but like I said at the beginning, one of my main concerns is that offense isn't really running through either of those guys. And then they ended up deciding to go without them for a long stretch there.
Yeah, we've seen that in the past too, where Winston sits and then they score a lot. But I don't really think they're going to be able to do that much this year, because they need his leadership on the court.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, we'll wait and see what it was with Winston, if there's something to it, or it was just that's how the game went. Maybe he was tired. I don't know. But Pope I thought was more interesting, because I'm almost getting the feeling that he's just not up to speed defensively, especially when it comes to staying in front of guys on the perimeter. So I think that's worth watching moving forward.
But, looking at the overall stat sheet, it's interesting to look at the rebounds. Winston and Skyler both have 8 total rebounds. So I would like to see Winston play maybe 30 minutes a game, though, and Skyler, because they hold down a lot of the rebounds. And then having a point guard with 6 rebounds is actually kind of nice, because we haven't had that in a while. And we're still really looking for that J.J. O'Brien type player who we lost last year, which I really, really think let's just be Dakari Allen this year. Because as you saw last night, we saw an offensive side of Dakari that we've really never seen before. And that was our one big hit against him as a player. That, yeah, he was one of the best defensive players on the West Coast coming out of high school. He's always been really good defensively at state, but he's never really been able to score. So putting up his stat sheet of 16 points, 3 rebounds, and then he was 7 for 8 from the free throw line. Was actually, I think, I was more impressed by Dakari than any other player last night. What do you think?
Yeah, Dakari was great. I mean, Hemsley finished as the leading scorer, but yeah, I agree that he kind of stole the show a little bit. And the thing with like Dakari, and even Cheatham, the guys that people say, well, can they shoot? Well, it doesn't necessarily matter, especially if fouls are going to be called at this rate. They just need to be straight line drivers, and you saw that with Dakari. That's how he got to the free throw line. He didn't go isolation and just pound the ball between his legs. He caught the ball, he took off into the lane, and he attacked the basket. So if those guys, if Shepard and Cheatham follow suit with that, I think they'll see the same success. Which Cheatham did a little bit. He got to the line 9 times as well.
Oh, exactly, and it will be interesting because like I'm looking at the stat score from when Duke kicked the crap out of us last year. Dakari didn't even play in that game. So like, and looking at all the normal rest of the stats, I think that was the most minutes he's had in an Aztec uniform last night with 28. So I was really thoroughly impressed with him. So I think that will be big because we do need that JJ player, which I think San Diego State really doesn't have one person that exemplifies JJ O'Brien's type of play. I think it's multiple people that are going to make up for it. Like Dakari with his offense, and then Winston with extra rebounding, and then with assists. Like, I was really impressed with Hemsley, as you're saying, who led the team in scoring with 20 points, but he also had 5 assists and 6 rebounds. He's the first Aztec freshman since Brandon Heath to score more than 12 in the first game of his career. So I was really excited about that. But I think with his scoring ability, now with Dakari's brand new ability to score and his defense, I would not be amazed to see Dakari sneak into the starting lineup. So in the coming weeks, if he continues playing so well. But what he's going to have to do is up his offensive rebounds because he did not have any last night.
Yeah, I agree about him having a shot at getting into the lineup because I think at this point he's their best bet for defending a guard, like the best guard on the other team. That was one of my questions: is who would do that? Maybe Shepard would, but like the really quick guys, whether Hemsley would do it, but I mean Dakari is definitely a guy that can. So I think that'll keep him on the floor a lot, and he's going to be out there. He's going to be out there anyway with how well he did offensively.
Oh, exactly. And I'm like, as we've been talking about points in the paint, we didn't even utilize the bigs at all, really, as I've been trying to say we need to. And that even shows on the stat sheet. So out of the 11 total offensive rebounds we have the whole game, Winston and Skylar combined for 6 of the 11. So, like, that's pretty poor offensive rebounding from a team that is really known for their offensive rebounding. Again, with JJ last year. You also look at the stats. Every single member who played last night, Winston, Skylar, Malik, Trey, Jeremy, Angelo, Dakari, Jarrell, Zylan, Ben Perez, every single player had a defensive rebound. But only 5 guys had offensive rebounds. So that's definitely something that they need to do some work with.
Right.
Against those big, they're going to need it.
Right. Last things for me that I saw was Ben Perez 1 for 7 from 3. I'm fine with it. He can keep shooting. Fisher even mentioned that in his conference. Illinois State getting 12 offensive rebounds, that's kind of a concern considering their size. And when Mark Ziegler mentioned that in his preview piece, like, there are rumblings about the team's commitment to the defensive boards. My eyes really opened when I read that, and I said, that's not a good thing to be dealing with in the preseason. So hopefully that gets turned around. And then with Winston, like you said, I think a way to free him up for the offensive boards would be to have him be one of those 2 posts in that kind of that horn set that they run, and then he can be free to crash the boards instead of someone else.